Let us start with the architecture of the microprocessor 8085U. Here you can see the different components of this architecture having the different functions. We will discuss it first diagrammatically, and then after taking any example we can get more clearance about this topic. So here we will first of all we will talk about the ALU unit, which is the most important part of the architecture. Here ALU unit means arithmetic and logic unit, means we can perform any arithmetical and logical operation in the microprocessor 8085, and we can work on the 8-bit data. That's why here there is a written 8 in the bracket. It is indicate that the maximum capacity of the architecture microprocessor 8085 is that is it can works on the 8-bit data. So this is the main unit. Next is the, I will introduce you one by one. Next is the accumulator. Here is the accumulator is the register, which is the very important register, which is again 8-bit register. And suppose we are performing any kind of arithmetic operation like addition, that time we can store the first data into the accumulator and second data can be stored in the another register, and whatever the result we are getting we will get the result only in the accumulator. That's why we can call it as a special register. Then the next register is the temporary register, which is, as the name indicates, we can store any data as a temporary purpose in this temporary register. This register is also 8-bit register. Here we can see the next register, that is the flag register. Again, as the name indicates, we can say that flag, what it indicates, the flag is nothing but the status of the result. Whatever the result after performing, suppose any operation instruction is given by the programmer to the microprocessor, what will happen? We will get, after perform execution of any instruction, we will get certain result into the accumulator register, but the status will be stored into the flag register. Status is nothing but the whether the carry is generated or not, whether the answer is positive or not negative, whether the auxiliary carry is generated or not. This kind of this status is can be indicated in this flag flip-flops written here, okay, which is works on the 5 bits. Only 5 flags indications are there, that's why written is the 5. Okay, now so we will go to the next portion of the architecture, that is instruction register. Here instruction register is the 8-bit register. Whatever the instruction is given by the programmer to the microprocessor, we first this instruction is comes into this register, then this instruction will decode by this instruction decoder and the machine cycle encoder. Okay, that will be passed through the timing and the control unit. What is this timing and control unit? This is nothing but the whatever the time which is taken by the instruction for execution of the any instruction, that can be understand by this timing and control unit. Here there are the different keys, you can see here, reset in, reset out. Wherever we have to reset the operation, then we can press the button reset in, and then reset out. Ready indicates whether the processor is ready or not. Then ALE is nothing but the arithmetic and latch enable, which can demultiplex the which can perform the multiplexing or demultiplexing, which I will introduce you again. If it is required, you can write in the comment box actually whether the address line is enabled or the data lines is enabled, which can be indicated by this AL unit. Then next is the S0 and S1, which is the status 0 and status 1. Again, this is used for the for understanding the status of the signal. Then IO means input output, and the M/M indicating memory unit. So sometimes the memory is working and sometimes input and output device is connected. So if is equal to 1 is written means IO is working, and if is equal to 0 then memory is working. Then the next is the read and write. When the instruction is reading operation is continuing, that time the RD is equal to 1, and if the writing operation is going on then you can say WR is equal to 1. So these are the different indications. Then hold, sometimes the instruction is hold by this, and HLDA means acknowledge, with whatever the acknowledgement is given by this pin means is equal to, there is a 1 is written then it means the pin is active. If it is 0 then it is inactive. Obviously the supply is required for the working of such a complete architecture. So you can say VCC is the external power supply, grounding, we all are aware of these things. And then X1 and X2 is the crystal oscillator is connected. So this is about the timing and control unit. It means what is the time required for execution of any instruction from beginning to the end, that can be indicated by this timing and control unit. Now next is the different registers, that is W, Z, B, C, register D, E, H and L, and these are the different register which can act as a temporary register. You can say whatever the operation we have to perform with. Sometimes the operation is very big, that time we are very eager where can we store the data. So that time we can use this W and Z separately, and then sometimes if we want to work on the 16-bit data, then we can pair some register like BC, DE and HL. Means if we will join BC register, then the 16-bit operation can be performed. Sometimes like the multiplication where the data is very long, that time we can pair it. Once we will understand the programming, then you will get more clear of this architecture. The next is the stack pointer. What is the stack pointer? The which instruction is going to fetch for the operation, that is the address of that instruction is we can see in the stack pointer, that is in short we can say as SP, while the program counter will indicate the which is the next instruction is coming. For the next instruction we can use the program counter. Then increment or decrement latch, whenever we have to increment the address of the as well as the decrement the address of the any instruction, that time we can use this register. This is the address and buffer. It is bidirectional. When the address is going on, means address is passing through the bus, then this address bus will be active, and if the data is want to pass, that time this data bus is active. This is the bidirectional. Now the next is the interrupt control. Sometimes while performing any operation, some interrupts can be possible. So these are the different interrupts, that is INTR, INTA, then RST 5.5, RST 6.5 and RST 7.5, and the last one is the trap. These are the different interrupts controls. You will understand it. I will teach you separately. Those who like to learn, I will, can write in the comment box. So according to the priority, these interrupts can be handled by the microprocessor 8085. Then here is the last block, that is the serial IO control, where the data can be passed serially. Okay, So we can see, as these are the different parts of the architecture 8085. Initially when the instruction is coming, we can use the instruction register, then it is passing through the instruction decoder. After decoding, this operation starts, then it is doing any manipulation in this arithmetic and logical unit, where the first data can be stored into the accumulator. Then for the next data we can use the temporary register, and once we get the result, that result can be stored into the accumulator, and then the flag register will indicate the status of the result, and the timing and control unit can be and to understand the how it is working internally for the execution, to indicate, to notice the execution period of the particular instruction. Then as I have told you, the interrupts, sometimes interrupts occurred according to the priority, it can be handled. Then these are the serial and control. So all this is regarding the architecture of the microprocessor 8085. I hope you all are understood. So if you like to know more about the microprocessor, please write down in the comment box, and if you like this video, please like or subscribe. Thank you.